guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a what's in my everyday makeup bag for you. So this is my everyday makeup bag. There's a couple that have kind of gotten thrown in throughout the summer and they've become everyday staples. And then there's a few in here that are also relatively new. But this has been the go-to routine for, I would say, since like April or May. So all this stuff is the stuff that I'm really liking right now, and I'm planning on keeping it in this rotation until about the end of September, or maybe we'll switch it out because I guess it's already gonna be fall. So yeah, this was everything that I've been using lately, all my favorites for day to day. We did like a cute little everyday easy type of makeup look, and although I'm not gonna be applying all of these products, I'm gonna swatch all of them for you so you can still kind of see the colors and like what I was liking. And I had so much fun filming this. I feel like this was just like an old like chatty get ready with me type of video. So it's probably gonna be pretty long and we'll just get right into it. So we'll just walk through all the products and I'll kind of show you like what I'm keeping and why I like them. All I have on my base right now is daytime skincare and sunscreen. The one illuminator that I know is really great with other products because it never pills is the Say Super Glowy Gel. This one is in the shade Warm Glow, which is my favorite of all the Say Super Glowy Gels. This one has like a little bit more of soft golden pearl to it. And what I really like about the Say Super Glowy Gels is they're not like your typical illuminator that's gonna be a really heavy strobe, and they just feel really nice and moisturizing. Again, super lightweight. I like how they don't pill up. So you can pair it with other sunscreens, moisturizers, serums, whatever you're doing for the day, and it doesn't do that thing where the makeup kind of fights itself. There's also a rose gold one that I was obsessed with last summer. I used that one up. I would repurchase that one too, but Warm Gold was my favorite, and it was previously limited edition, but that really nice strobe. And if you have dry skin or a dull skin type like I do, using something like this underneath the base, I feel like it always makes such a big difference. And I am not kidding you when I say like this has been what I leaned into the most starting back in probably May or even April. It was the Hourglass Illusion. I'm obsessed with this. So I originally got the shade 12. It's a little bit too light for most days, but I think this might be like more of my winter shade. So I went several shades deeper and got shade 19, and then I basically just always mix these together to create a custom shade. And this is what I would wear most days. I still am leaning into this pretty much every day. It's really nice, lightweight. This also has an added SPF 30 to it. So I just do a mixture of 12 and 19. I'm using a Makeup by Mario F1 brush for this, the angled side. It's very creamy. It's luminous, but it's not a sticky or like dewy tacky type of finish. And the coverage is there, but it also feels really nice and moisturizing throughout the day. We went on a week-long trip with our friends up north in June for like a little bit over a week, and this was the only base product I brought aside from concealer, and I was really happy with the way it looked in all settings, like going out during the day and doing stuff, but then also going out to dinner at night. I could really build it up, and my skin I felt like wasn't needing any other products. And also, you guys might remember Hourglass had another version of the Illusion several years ago, but it actually was more of a proper like tinted moisturizer. This is like Illusion redone, perfected. It looks very luminous and glowy, but keep in mind I do have that Say Super Glowy Gel under there just because I like super glowy, but it still looks this glowy without being like sticky. Or you know, sometimes when you're using stuff that's like a little bit too luminous, it's almost like sensory overload. I don't get that with this. So I feel like once you powder it especially, you're not gonna feel like it's too greasy, and it just looks really pretty up close in person and also in direct sunlight. Like it's not a cakey looking feel. Moving into concealer, and when I tell you that this is my favorite concealer, this is what I mean. So if I'm not doing the Hourglass Illusion, and let's say I just want to do some sunscreen and the Say Super Glowy Gel, I will then pull out one of my shades of the Kosas Revealer Concealer. So I have a shade for everything, and a lot of days I do kind of wear this as a foundation and just wear this on its own. It's light. I feel like my skin can breathe and I can just spot conceal, add a little bit of dimension, but there is literally a shade that matches my skin tone exactly, a shade that covers hyperpigmentation for me, and I have two brightening shades for adding dimension into the middle of the face. So this is like truly holy grail status. I feel like I've talked about this for so many years, but like when I'm telling you that I love it, I mean I love the Kosas Revealer Concealer. So I'm gonna do a little bit of this to add some extra coverage. So basically I use 6.8W. This is the shade that can also double as a foundation shade for me. So I add this wherever I have like any of this post-acne hyperpigmentation stuff that I want to hide, because it blends into my skin perfectly. So 6.8W is like the invisible shade for me, and I add that wherever I need a little bit of extra coverage. And then I also like 6.2N underneath the eyes. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, adds that extra definition. And then for my like super brightening shade, I like 5.50, and that I'll put kind of like in the center of the face. Oh, and I totally forgot to mention something else. The other products that I use a lot is the MPH. I've kind of put this in my everyday makeup routine, and ever since I've got it, I've made it my duty to use it every single day so that I can review it for you in a couple weeks and really give you like the full lowdown on it. I'll pop a little bit of that on here as well, but typically I haven't been using it for underpainting. I do use it for underpainting because I think it works well like that, but I think it actually looks the best on top of makeup. So like more as a definition and highlighting palette, although the highlighting shades are not luminous, they're just like lighter shades. So we'll just blend out this concealer. I'm using the other side of the Makeup by Mario F1 brush, and I just tap and blend this concealer in. I like to let everything kind of melt into the skin. I do wear eye primer almost every day in the summertime. I feel like even though I have dry skin, because I wear so many like balmy products and then I put sunscreen on my eyelid, I feel like the sunscreen kind of breaks down my makeup throughout the day. So I always do a touch of the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. And when I say a touch, I mean actually a lot, because like I said, I feel like sunscreen breaks down eyeshadow so quickly and causes it to crease. Blend out the concealer, and I take a little bit on the eyelid too. Again, just to prep for shadow, so it has a little bit something else to grab too. Okay, then I'm using the MPH little dual-ended brush, and I'll show you the Mary Phillips palette. So again, this is the palette in the shade medium. I actually use every single shade in this palette quite often, except for this last shade right here. This is contour number 2. I just don't find myself reaching for that one quite as much, but I like contour number 1, and I'm using her little dual-ended brush. And I feel like putting it on top of makeup gives me a little bit more of the result that I want in terms of it just being as dramatic as I like for like a contoured and highlighted look. And then if you do it underneath your makeup, you get that more subtle kind of like buttery skin that Mary Phillips always has when she's doing her clients. Now, I also really like the little bit of color corrector mixed with highlight number 1, and you can pop that right along the side of the nose. It kind of gives you that like photoshopped in real life type of look in the center of the face. These also have a blurring effect on the skin. They're a little bit more of a cream powder set down, so I do like that. They don't stay super tacky. It's also great if you do cream bronze and then you want to like chisel out the cheeks. So I'll do a little bit on the cheeks. I'm going to do contour 1 on the fluffy side of the brush and just put that right under the cheek, kind of like blending back toward the hairline, and then around forehead. I also have a couple cream bronzers in here. I don't know why I have this many. I actually should have reorganized this before I started filming, but I guess this is a more accurate representation of what I actually keep my makeup bag like. I have the Too Faced Melting Stick Bronzer. I love this. This one's in the shade Chocolate Caramel. This is something I've repurchased now twice. I love this. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I do. It's super creamy, really easy to work with, just a lovely buttery formula, and it's beautiful. Like, this has become one of my favorite cream bronzers. I also have in here my Say Dew Bronze. I use the shade Swim from Say. There's Say Swim. I use this as a bronzer a lot too. This is the Hourglass Vanish Foundation, and it's in the shade Walnut. Super warm tone, and when I have some post-acne hyperpigmentation, this is what I like to use because it's an actual foundation. So when I'm putting it on the planes of my face where I tend to have those breakouts and those scars, this actually covers them like a foundation, but gives me that bronze effect. So there is the Hourglass. Recently just repurchased this. This is a product that I regularly hit pan on. This is the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer from Makeup by Mario. I have this one in the shade Dark, and it's this beautiful sheer bronzer. It just blends onto the skin really lovely. So yeah, those are all the cream bronzers I have in here. And then I also have one more. I have the Farrah Homidi refillable bronzer in Roma. I've only had this one for a couple weeks and it's already become a favorite. It really does have a unique formula. It is like buttery and has this soft, luminous, almost stain-like effect on it. Like, do you see that? Crazy how it melts into the skin like a cream, but then it sets like a powder, and it really does have that luminous finish. I'll do the Makeup by Mario today because I love this. So I just do a little bit on the nose, blend it out. I love his dual-ended brushes because you can just do your entire face, and then I just take that onto the apples of the cheeks. And we'll come back around to the end and I'll show you how I set this with the Farrah Homidi bronzer. You guys know this, I'm not a big eyeshadow girl and I'm not very adventurous with my eyeshadow on a day-to-day. I like what I like, and it is a simple eye look, to be quite honest. So I have 4 essentially single shadows. This one is actually the newest that I've been trying. This is Chateau from Tower 28. It's one of the new Cooling Go-Go shadow sticks. This is stunning. Okay, all the shades that I have from this line are stunning, but this one, if you have to kind of blend it out really quick because they set down. It looks like an eye gloss. Typically, glitter shadows give me really bad eye eczema. I think that's why I'm not super prone to using eyeshadow to begin with. I've always had a sensitivity to eyeshadows. Sometimes it's certain colors, and sometimes I think it's like certain like sizes of glitter, if that makes sense. Like if it's super finely milled, eczema flare up. If it's super chunky, eczema flare up. So I've been wearing these pretty consistently. Really, really like them. Chateau is the one that I wanted to throw into my bag. I have the Armani Eye Tint in 68S. This is another very well loved eyeshadow for me. This one's like a soft watercolor bronze. Merit single shadows. This one's in Mid-Century, mid-tone brown. So we've got Merit Mid-Century, and then my new favorite, Kevyn Aucoin individual eyeshadow, and it's in the shade Caramel. Super buttery and lovely. With all of these shades, I can kind of create an easy everyday eye look, or I can wear them one at a time. And then I have my eyeliners, so I feel like I can do a natural look or a dramatic look. So today I'm just gonna do Kevyn Aucoin. I'm taking this on a Dibs dual-ended fluffy brush, and I literally just apply that all over the lid, kind of swirl and buff up toward the brow bone, and then I just soften out the edges. Angled side on the other end, I just use this to run it onto my lower lash line from the outer corner of the eye all the way to the inner corner. It just adds a little extra definition under there. Okay guys, let's do a little bit of brows. I only have 2 brow products in here, and this is so exciting. I've basically used up this brow pencil entirely. This is just the Anastasia Perfect Brow Pencil in soft brown. I'm already gonna get a backup of this. I wanted to switch back to a little manual brow pencil because I feel like with the mechanical ones, the like spin up top ones, you know, I do love those, but I feel like I was going through like 1 or 2 a month. Switch back to a regular brow pencil and then see how long this lasts you, because it'll probably last you a lot longer and you won't be just buying a brow pencil every 2-3 weeks. I've been using this for over 8 weeks. I think I started using this back in like end of June, maybe even earlier than that. It's definitely been over 2 months. So I think I'm just going back to this type of brow pencil because it actually lasts and I can fill in my brows with it every single day, and I don't have to worry about running out of brow pencil. And soft brown works for me. Even though my hair is black, it gives enough definition that like it fills in my brows, but it doesn't look too harsh or too cartoony. I've got 3 blushes in here. So this is Burnt Pepper. I fell in love with this over the summer. This is just a regular MAC blush, the powder blush, Poppy Pink. It doesn't look as pink in the pan, but on the cheeks it is really pretty. And then I have one of the Summer Fridays blush balms. This is in Toasted Terracotta. This was my favorite by far of the blush balms from Summer Friday. And then Rhode Tan Line. I wear this every day. I want to show you how I use it. So I take it on a brush and I always put it on the bridge of my nose. It just adds a little color right there, kind of like a little sun-kissed color. And I always take it on a brush and kind of put it on the top of the forehead, pat it in. This is like a really good way to kind of replicate that you've actually been in the sun, you just put a little bit of pink right on the top of the forehead. You kind of want to think about like where the sun would naturally give you a little bit of pink on the skin. And then just on the apples of the cheeks. And both of these don't change color too much. If you set with MAC Burnt Pepper, it's like a good pink. So I'm gonna put some powder bronzer on top really quick. So we're gonna go in with the Fair Midi bronzer. We basically always wanna set cream bronzer with powder bronzer so that you don't lose the bronze color. Sometimes I feel like if I set my cream bronzer with translucent powder, it kind of like loses its tone. Okay, and then just like a touch of MAC Burnt Pepper to set the cream blush. Okay, then I'm gonna set the base now. I'm using the Givenchy Pressed. This is the pink, so it's number 3. I like to take it on a triangular puff and just swirl into all 3. You can tell this is like very clearly well loved. I also have this in shade number 4, but like 4 I'll use more for the center of the face. What I really like number 3 for is highlighting. So like I take it on the sides of the nose, outward. It really helps keep all that dimension in the base, especially because we did so much with the cream contour and the highlight. I still really like the loose version of this as well. I just feel like the pressed is, well, now I just popped it out of there, but I still really like the loose version of this as well. I just feel like that the pressed version is more makeup bag friendly. It's easier to keep in your makeup bag because it's not quite as big and chunky, because the other one, you know, comes in that giant tub. And I also find it to just be a little bit messy for a makeup bag. Okay, now we can go in and set the brows. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Brow Lamination. If you haven't tried this, this is like the best brow gel I've tried in a while for a clear one. Tinted favorite is still the Kosas, but for a clear brow gel, this is incredible. So I have a brown eyeliner from Buxom. This is in Comeback Copper. This is my favorite brown eyeliner right now. I have the Dolce & Gabbana black liquid liner. This is the Dolce & Gabbana That's My Line. This is so long wearing and I really like the felt tip on it. And then I have another long wearing black eyeliner. This is a gel from Prada. This is the Prada Durable Gliding Eye Pencil. So if I'm gonna do a smoky eye, I'll literally just use the black eyeliner and smudge it around the lash line. But today I'm gonna use Comeback Copper from Buxom. And I just run this on the top lash line and then smudge with my finger. Black liquid liner and just kind of dot it into the top lash line. Not even making a line, but just like beefing up the top lash line so that it looks more full. I really only keep 2 mascaras in my everyday makeup bag because honestly, I only need like one or the other. So a waterproof formula for days where I really want to make sure my lashes hold a curl. Right now I have the Maybelline Lash Stiletto, which I love. This has that great brush on it. And I've been talking about Lash Stiletto for literally years. It's still one of my favorite drugstore mascaras. Or my favorite tubing mascara, this is MAC Extended Play Giga Backlash. Love the brush on this and I love the formula. So although this is not a waterproof mascara, it's a tubing mascara. So because of that, even if it does get wet, it doesn't do the raccoon eye thing because it's a tubing mascara. So it'll more so just kind of like stay in place, or the curl will kind of fall, but it doesn't do that smudgy thing. So I really like that. And this is a great, easy, everyday mascara. Sometimes I'll even just do the waterproof on the top and the tubing mascara on the lower lashes. So today I'm gonna do the Maybelline Lash Stiletto because I really love this and I want my lashes to hold the curl. And then typically just on the lower lashes, just so I don't have to take off any more waterproof, I'll just do a little bit of Giga Black on the bottom, but it still gives you like a really good length. The one highlight I've been using the most, this is the Dior Warm Gold, or Gold Halo, sorry. And I just do a little bit down the bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow, chin, you know, a little bit on all the center of the face. Okay, you guys, lips are like next level. I have way too many lip products in here, but I mean, I guess you get to see how many lip products I hoard for day to day. Okay. I guess let's start off with the lip pencils that I've had on rotation lately. So I just recently got this. This is the Makeup Forever Aqua Seal, and you can basically turn any, like, if this would focus, you can turn any pencil or even like powder products, creams, you can turn them into longwear products, just adding some of this. So I have my MAC Cool Spice just as obsessed with this. And then I have the two Mary Phillips lip liners because I've been trying to use these every day. It's just something that I want to make sure I'm using wait a minute. This is Mary Phillips Skinny Dip, and right next to it is Matte Cool Spice. They look exactly the same, okay? How did I not ever swatch those next to each other? And then there's Sizzle right there. And then I have the Huda Lip Contour in Soft Nude, which is the lightest of the Huda ones, so I really like that. Benetint, which I pretty much layer onto everything. And honestly, you guys, I feel like every time I'm wearing Benetint in a lip combo, you almost always ask what it is, because I think Benetint just makes everything look better. So a lot of times it's not even necessarily that I think it's the combo. I think it's just Benetint underneath the lip colors making you think that it looks better than it actually does. I don't know. That's just a theory. It's something that I've noticed. An absurd amount of glosses in here. I have these peptide lip treatments. So I have Rhode PBJ, which I do wear a lot. That's one of my favorites from Rhode. Ulla Henriksen Strawberry Sorbet. Rhode Toast. That one's right next to it. This one's running low. I am so excited that Hailey is bringing back Salty Tan when it comes to Sephora. That is gonna be the first thing I purchase. And then I also have Refy's Tinted Lip Gloss in Fawn. You can tell I use them all. They're all like on their last leg. Then I have two of the Say glosses. So I have Disco, which is the perfect pinky shade. This looks beautiful on top of the Benetint. So there's Disco. And then this one is so cute. This one is called Burst. So there's Burst. Givenchy Rose Perfect. I just bought 3 more of these. I use these up. This one is number 109. This is one of my favorite lip products ever. I do think it's worth the splurge. So there's the Givenchy 109. So I basically got any type of lip combo I would want, like a pinky or a nudie. I'm gonna do a nudish one today. I'm gonna start with MAC Cool Spice. Now that I know that this is the same as the Mary Phillips, I'm like, what? Okay, I'm also gonna do a little splash of Benetint. Refy Fawn. I feel like I haven't shown you guys this one yet on my channel, but like, it's so good. Okay, and then we're gonna set this down. I'm using the Iconic London Prep Set Glow Mist. You guys know this is my absolute favorite. This is just the original shade, and I just do like a light mist. All right, and this is the finished look, and that is everything that was in my makeup bag. We dissected it as we went through. I put a few things back in there, but it all fits. I'm telling you, this same makeup bag, like I just packed it all back in here so quick, and then it zips. I also really like how it has a sectional divider in there. It does in fact zip all the way. I hope you guys liked this video. I had a lot of fun filming this. I feel like this was like an old YouTube video doing like a what's in my makeup bag and just walking you through how I like to use all of these products. So I'm gonna list and link everything that I used in this video in the description box down below. And if you have any questions at all about any of these products, please feel free to leave it in the comments down below. I'll do my best to help you out based on my experience with them. And if you have any video requests for any type of beauty video that you wanna see in the near future, let me know. If there's anything new that you want to see me incorporate into a video, I'd love to know if you have your eye on any products. And other than that, I'll see you on my next YouTube video, but also please be sure to come follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'll have both of those in the description box as well. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.